Yep, don't touch me.
No.
No, do not touch me,
Could you
sir.
go back round the...
Yeah, do you mind not pushing me? I will fall over, sir.
I'm not pushing you.
Yeah, you are, sir.
You can see they just came out to have a look and see for their food. So, but that's all what they came out for. Afternoon, how you doing? So,
You alright?
not too bad. So, yeah, so you can see what they did was they just came out specifically for their food. And from what I can make out and what the guy said, I think they've got Nando's. Yep. So that's what they've got. So, so they've decided to order a Nando's, and that's what they've gone for. But let's just see where they go in. They didn't really want to shout, they were more interested in their lunch above anything. I believe that that's the way they went in. So yeah, as you can see there, that's where they went in. That's where they...
And right here is the calm before the storm. No urgency. No threat. Just officers focused on their Nando's. Poultry leg, but here's the question. If there was no immediate concern, what actually triggered the escalation later? Was it safety or ego? Stick around, because that shift is about to tell us everything.
So you got 3 officers there. There. And that's what you got. So 3 officers. Yeah. WPC just see the camera, spun round and just ran the other way. So more interested in their food more than anything. But what has been good is it's good for photography that I've just been left alone. A couple of officers came out, yep, they came out to get their lunch, but they just left me alone. So that's inside on the actual pillar, and let's just see. So you have regional organised crime unit, community investigation team, divisional intelligence unit and divisional coaching unit, and then you got ASBO and everything else. Let me just move out of the way because you've got this officer here. So
Oh mate, you alright?
Yep, don't touch me.
No.
No, do not touch me,
Could you
sir.
go back round the...
Yeah, do you mind not pushing me? I will fall over, sir.
I'm not pushing you.
Yeah, you are, sir.
Pause it right there. This is a critical legal moment. In UK law, physical contact by an officer must be justified, usually tied to arrest powers, self-defense, or preventing a breach of the peace. None of that has happened yet. So if force comes before a lawful basis, that's not policing, that's liability. Ask yourself, if this footage didn't exist, whose word would carry more weight?
Stand back, sir. No, would you mind standing back, sir?
So go back to the private area, yep.
Okay, would you mind standing back, sir?
Come on this way.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're not a police officer,
That's
so
right.
don't tell me what
But
to
you're
do,
on
sir.
property,
Can
so
you
let's go this way.
can you actually identify yourself first, sir?
No, you identify yourself.
I don't need to.
Neither do I.
Okay.
Back round here.
No chance, sir.
Could you come back round to...
No chance, sir.
That's right.
Okay, so guys, as you can see, this PCSO here just came out and just tried to completely push me out the way. Right.
Push, you put your arms on me as I...
No, you walk straight up to me, sir. Do not even try that one. It's all on
Okay.
camera, so don't worry about that,
Your
sir.
camera tick.
So,
And don't worry, I'll be requesting a copy of that.
I'll request a copy of yours too.
You've got no chance, sir. You're held
you've
by
got no chance.
GDPR. I'm not. So let's verify that,
Well,
sir.
you're on private property.
Well,
go-
are you the
let's go-
landowner? Are you the landowner, sir?
No, but I represent
no.
who does.
Okay.
So I'm asking you nicely.
No, you're a PCSO, so
That's
do not
right.
even attempt
So
to
I can
actually
ask you
speak
nicely.
to me.
If I walked
And I
into-
can decline, sir.
Okay. So if I walked into
So
that
I
garden
can
without
decline,
permission,
sir.
would that be okay?
I can decline, sir. Right?
So in private, if I
So you got a PCSO here,
Okay.
refusing to
Question
identify
to you.
himself. Okay.
I walk into your-
21907.
well done, that's it.
Okay.
That's what you're entitled to, and you've got it now.
Don't worry. Yeah, but you failed to do it, so you will be retrained on that, sir.
Well, thank you very much.
Right.
I appreciate customer feedback.
You were, well, you've got no absolute
So
respect
question-
for members of the public.
No,
You
what
have
you've got to
none at all,
understand
sir. You have none
if
at all.
I
I don't
walk-
have to
if I
listen to a
walk-
word you say, sir.
if I
You
walked
fail
into
to
your
identify
garden,
yourself to me,
would you
so
be able
I
to
do
ask me
not
to
speak
leave?
to you.
If I walked
okay?
into your garden, would I be able to ask
Yes,
you to
and
leave?
it's a civil matter,
That's
sir.
right. So can you please leave?
It's a civil matter. The
So
answer
I'm
is
asking
no,
you,
sir.
You're welcome to record.
The answer is
but
no,
please
sir.
go to the public
The
area.
answer is no, sir.
This is private.
The answer is no, sir.
Notice what's happening. The word private keeps getting repeated, but no statute is being cited. Trespass in most circumstances is civil, not criminal. That means police powers are limited. When authority can't point to a specific power, volume often replaces legality. And that's when situations spiral. Have you seen this tactic before? Let me know.
The answer's no to what?
Okay, to
Oh,
me
it's public.
moving.
Oh, sorry, it is private.
It's publicly accessible.
No, it's
publicly
not.
accessible.
There's a barrier there. with
No,
public
not on the
access.
pavement, sir. And there's no sign
You're not on
saying
the
do
pavement,
not
you're in a
actually
private
come
car
through
park.
here.
You're in a private
There's
car park, not
yeah,
a
that's
footpath.
because you forced me this way, sir.
I didn't force you.
Yes, you did.
You were stood here.
I
filming
stepped
through
down
our
off the
window.
steps and
No.
you walked right. The camera
You
don't
were
lie,
filming
sir.
through there while I was in the
Sir,
toilet.
I have
It's a bit
nothing more to
strange to me.
say to you.
Yeah, I came out the toilet and you're
You
filming
are
through
a
the glass.
complete bully boy, nothing more. You are
So
a
if I
complete
came to
bully
your
boy.
house and filmed
Number
through your
one,
window,
you
is that
failed to identify
I
yourself.
don't have to explain myself to you.
Yes, you do, sir.
until you're
Yes, you do, sir. Look, do me a favour. You don't even have the powers of a traffic warden, so do me a favour and in polite words, please go, leave me alone to do what I'm lawfully allowed to
You're
do.
not allowed in this private area. That's not lawful.
Yes, I am, sir.
If I walked into your garden without
Yes, I
legal
am,
purpose,
sir.
would that be reasonable?
Okay,
Would that be reasonable?
it
It's a
becomes
simple
a
yes or no.
civil matter.
Could I walk into your garden?
You can walk into my garden.
And would you be happy with that?
Okay.
And I filmed you through
Sir,
your windows?
It makes no difference.
What if I filmed you through your windows? Would that be okay?
It's a civil matter, sir.
It's not.
It is a civil matter.
It becomes a privacy issue.
When
isn't
when it's
like
public,
stalking harassment,
when it's
isn't it?
private property, it is a civil matter of
But
trespass.
filming through someone's private
It is
windows
a civil matter.
illegal.
I
It is
can
illegal.
I can film whatever my eye can see from the public. End of story.
But this is not
It's
public area.
publicly
This is not a public
accessible.
area.
So
You know
do me a
that.
favour. Do me a favour.
I appreciate you've got hobbies,
Do me
but
a
you have to do
favour.
it from
Do me a
that side.
favour. Just go away. Right. Look. If you want to do something about this, then go and get me a real police officer.
Now this is the turning point. Watch the body language. Calm tone. Clear identification. Open questions. Same situation. Completely different approach. This is policing by consent in action. And here's something important. When officers lead with professionalism, confrontation usually dissolves. So was this ever about safety? Or just how it was handled?
Right. Well, then, in other words, I'm going to carry on with my business.
I know you're trying to provoke a reaction because
I'm not. You came out. There was two nice officers that walked in there that said hello to me just round the corner and let me carry on doing what I'm doing.
Filming through our windows,
Sir,
and
look,
you should be in a
I can
private
film
car.
whatever I can see. So do me a favour. I'm going to carry on with my
think you're-
business.
you're
I'm going to
obviously
carry on
being
with my
obstructive.
business.
It's
So
difficult.
it's that simple. Okay. So you got a PCSO there that thinks he can throw his weight around. He was most probably bullied at school, and that's why he decided to put on that fake police officer's uniform, and that's what he's decided to do. As you've seen from the camera, he decided to come right the way out and completely push up right in my face. So it looks like there is where you've got the cells, and that's what you've got. So, and that's what it is. So, but this guy here, what a complete bully boy, nothing more. He must have been really bullied at school. He must have. So, and that's the thing.
I'll try to explain to you, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
Good, not too bad. Would you mind identifying? Would you mind identifying?
Yeah, my name is PC Wells. My warrant number is Echo Alpha 022.
Thank you very much,
As you
sir.
can see on my shoulder.
Thank you
there,
very much
sir.
for identifying yourself.
Can I ask what you're doing here today, please?
Yes, I'm doing a lawful activity, and I'm down here to try and engage with some officers, like yourself, where you came out, you've been nice and polite. Like this PCSO here came out and was completely in my face and pushing me away. Right? So I will say thank you very much for that, sir. And what I...
Tell you what, give us 2 seconds, bud. I'll have a chat with him, and then do you want to go with Caro? Have a chat with Caro, and then we'll get 2 sides of the same story, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So yes, so I'm just down here because recently you've actually got the Police Federation for Sussex that did actually release a statement saying that they believe themselves that there is a complete divide between the public and the police. So I'm just down here. As you know, there aren't many police on the street at the moment. A lot of them go around in vehicles. The main place you can see the police is at a police station. Now, as I've come round, there's no signs around there saying no public beyond that point. That's why I'm allowed to actually access this under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act of 1972. So I'm allowed access round here because there is no sign round the front. He came round when I was standing over there, and I've got it all on camera, and he just completely pushed up and pushed me into the corner. You can see I walked with a stick, and he tried to push me over. Right? I will be filing assault charges for that because he should not have done that. Also, he failed to identify who he was. Right, not like yourself. When you came out, I asked you to identify yourself. You've done that. It was perfectly fine. Okay. Now, what I will actually show you, just so we can actually clarify this. Okay. So, not like what this one does, I understand. As you can see, that is from the NSPCC.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, you must know who the NSPCC are.
The NPCC.
NPCC.
Yep. I do. Yeah.
Yep. So
you just give me 2 seconds.
No worries. No worries. Carry on.
And this is where legal nuance matters. The officer doesn't issue a command. He requests a compromise. Why? Because he likely understands the limits of his powers here. That's smart policing. Cooperation beats coercion every time. If the first interaction had started like this, would we even be watching this video?
Good afternoon, my darling. Sorry, I won't call you my darling because I know some people don't like that. Would you mind just identifying yourself for me, if you don't mind?
PC Gawley.
Okay, and your collar number, please.
Echo Alpha 334.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So you can see clearly from that, okay, what's come out. I'm completely well within my rights to do so, and it says that we are allowed to do so. So, and once I've done my story, then I will make my way, and I'll be off. Now, there were 2 officers that came out to get their lunch. They said good afternoon and everything else, and they were really pleasant. And that's how it should be. And they wonder why there's a divide. Now, the way that you've come out, if you were on the street, that would be a fantastic interaction with any member of the public. And that's what the public want to see.
Of course.
It's when you get somebody like this gentleman here, and the way that he went, that is what gives good officers a bad name. And that's what we have to come away from. And that's why I just come down to see what officers' views were on whether or not they believe there is a divide.
It's something that I'm not going to comment on, for the simple reason of
and that's your right
we have our media departments that speak on behalf of the police. I'm very conscious that we are all stood here in a uniform, and that my personal comments on the matter could then be construed as being the views of Sussex Police, and that's not the case. My views are my own, but when I wear this uniform, I represent Sussex Police, as do my colleagues here. Okay?
That's fair enough.
So, with respect to you, sir, I'm going to refrain
That's
from
fine. That's not a problem, sir.
If you wanted a comment from the police service in relation to the divide between us and the public,
I've contacted the press office a number of times, but they only ever seem to get back to me when there's something good to actually be said, and that is a sad thing, because this is what creates the divide. When something goes wrong, right, it's good officers that do need to stand up and say, look, this is what's happening, and they do need to go forward. And as I said, you've been really polite, you've been really professional, and it's been really, really good. As I said, if you don't want to answer the question, you don't need to answer the question, and that's perfectly fine. That's well within your rights to do so. But what is not acceptable is what this actual PCSO did. That's not acceptable in any way.
I can't comment on that because obviously I didn't witness that again. And like you said, you're well within your rights to make any sort of complaint that you wish to do so. And if you need to know how the process works in relation to making an internal complaint about a member of Sussex Police staff, we can go through that. That's not a problem.
That's fine.
In the interest of, like you said, I've been polite with you and been absolutely fine with you, and I appreciate what you've said about the signage. And that is obviously something that we will have to address if that is the case. But can I ask there to be some sort of compromise between the 2 of us? I'm happy to continue having a conversation with you, for the time being. But this is a private car park, whether it's signed or not. Like I said, you've quoted the Act of Parliament to me. However, I'm going to ask for some sort of compromise between the two of us, considering that, you know, I've been absolutely perfectly polite with you, and therefore I see no reason for you to, you know, to sort of not want to engage with me and to come to some sort of agreement. Okay. I cannot stop you doing what you're doing in terms of your filming and things like that. The only thing I'm going to ask politely is that you don't do it in our private car park, because we should be challenging people to see whether they have police ID when they are in this particular area.
And that's perfectly fine, sir.
So
that is perfectly
all
fine.
I'm going to ask is that if you want to continue filming the police station here today and doing whatever it is for your YouTube channel or whatever social media platform you're doing this for, that's fine. But could I ask you to do it the other side of the barrier where you've entered from today, please?
I will do. As soon as I finished here, okay, then I will actually move round.
So, and what is it that you are hoping to gain from being in this car park?
Well, no, I'm walking around and I'm looking at the whole building. Okay, the cars that are in here, they don't bother me at all. Okay, they're over there. I'm focused on the building.
Fine.
Okay, is what I'm focused on.
And what part of the building have you got up to this point?
I got to here, okay, when this gentleman came out.
The building itself, because again, I'm sure you know your boundaries better than I do, I'm sure. But that's the only thing I'm going to ask. Okay?
Yep.
Is you,
And that was the concern I had coming out here, was I came out the loo and then the camera was up against the glass through that door filming in, which was obviously concerning to me.
Of course, of course.
And I came out to direct him back round to the front of the building, to the public area, but you didn't agree with that.
That's not the way you came out, sir.
Well, we can play the video back if you want.
That's not the way you came
play
out,
the video
sir.
back to my colleagues, and
Okay.
you know, obviously they can give me
Don't worry,
feedback.
you will get that when you actually get the complaint through.
But
and as I
obviously-
said, failing to identify yourself, okay, that's something that you will be
Well,
trained.
as I said to you,
need to
is
take
we
it from
need-
these officers
we need to,
and
you
actually
need to cooperate
see
with us
what
as well,
you
don't
said.
you? That's what I was trying to
Well,
understand.
not the way that you came out.
point
Number
of-
one, you have no power as a community support
No, but I have
officer.
the
That's what
authority to ask you to leave the private area that
you
we
have
represent.
no authority.
We do it on this private area.
You
we
have
do.
no authority,
There we go.
sir.
See, this is what I mean. You're difficult.
No, I'm not
And
being
and I'm
difficult.
sure if
You
someone-
actually have no authority.
Just
You're
bear
not
in
the
mind,
landowner.
If a member
It
of
is
public
public
came to your
property.
house, recorded you through your
It is
window,
public
you
property.
would call the police and say, "Oh, there's some
No,
strange going on here."
I won't,
Someone's
because
recording me from my window.
they never turn up, sir.
Yeah.
They
Well, I
never
would
turn
come.
up, sir.
So, thank you for letting us have a read
No
of your
worries,
guidance
that's
there.
fine, you're more than welcome.
The only thing that we've got concerns for, which I'm going to ask you to just clarify, is just in relation to point 1.4 here. Okay, and just to be mindful of these bullet points here and how you're.
And that's perfectly fine.
And I'm not going to be defending my colleague because I can't comment because I didn't witness it. However, you've kind of got to understand from our point of view that surrounding 1.4 here, you know, and the hostile, reconnaissance and looking at layout of the venue, things like that. That obviously then raises concerns and suspicions with us. But you've got the paperwork there. I just thought I'd like to point that out
and
to
that's
you, sir.
perfectly fine.
Okay.
And as I said, but then if you read the rest of it, that's what the way of actually doing it. But then if you actually then read through, it then tells you the way that an officer then should be acting towards somebody that's doing it.
I completely appreciate
And this
that.
is the thing. When you look at something like that, that's why. Oh, thank you very much. Sorry.
That's good, and I completely appreciate that. And again,
And that is another reason why I keep this on me, is because it makes things much easier for everybody.
right.
And I know that people always say that, did you see the memo of 2020, okay, that went out? The first thing that everyone says is no.
So it makes sense
that's
for you to
why
have
it's
a copy
easy
of
to
it.
carry a
Of course.
copy. So it means then that people then can actually read it. As I said, you can take as
course.
long as you need for it. And all I wanted to do, as I told you, was come, engage, exactly as I'm doing with yourself, sir. And you can see I'm really chilled, really relaxed.
fine.
But then when you look at the way that gentleman was,
Again, I
that was a
can't comment on
disgrace.
that because I didn't witness it. I'm sure he's got his body-worn video rolling, and you've obviously got your camera footage. That will ultimately determine the interaction between yourselves. However, again, because I wasn't there, in the interest of what he has said and treating everyone here fairly, if he had then concerns that you were maybe up at the window, I don't know because I didn't see that myself. Okay,
Right,
but
sorry,
that's why I
sorry,
highlight
can I
that
just
point.
say one thing? Excuse me. Could you just make sure that that footage is actually saved? And you should have told me under 3.5 that you turned your camera on, sir. Also, as well, did you two turn your cameras on? If you don't mind me asking.
So we have these overt pieces of equipment here with the label that makes it clear that the cameras are on. And we've got a little red light. I know it's not the easiest in daylight, but it shows that it is on at the moment.
But just so you know, under your policy, you do need to tell a member of the public when you do turn it on.
Okay.
It is part of your policy. And so, as I said, for that gentleman, I know that I will be requesting his copy.
Well, all of our
because that
footage
was
gets
so wrong.
automatically retained for 30 days.
That's fine.
And then if there is a requirement for it to be saved longer than that 30 days, we have to facility of
Yeah,
doing that.
that's fine.
So rest assured, I'm not sure if his camera was on. I'm going to presume that it was.
At first it wasn't,
Right.
but as I said, it was so wrong the way that he came out. It really, really was.
And are you aware of how to make a complaint to Sussex Police if you so wish?
I know each police force is different. I know that they do operate slightly different. So if you wouldn't mind telling me, that would
So
be amazing.
ultimately, the best course of action would be to call 101.
Yep.
Go through to our Sussex Police contact centre and log the complaint with them. They will give you a unique reference number to log your call, and that should then be passed on to our professional standards department, who they have a duty to contact you within a certain time. I couldn't tell you what that time period is.
Yep.
I'd like to say it's 24 hours, but I don't know that for a
Okay.
fact.
Yep.
They will then contact you, discuss the complaint with you, and then they will liaise with the relevant officers, the relevant PCSOs, look at all of the footage that is available to try and then come to some sort of resolution with you as to how you would like your complaint dealt with.
Yep.
Okay?
No worries, that's perfect. Can I say thank you very much for your time? I appreciate both of your times.
You're welcome.
And most of all, do have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you very
And
much.
be safe while you're out there.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Can I just clarify? Do you need to do anything more in the car park?
Yeah, I just wanted to get that bit just along there, and then that's
fine.
me then done
And again, in
done
the
round
interest
here.
of us building a good rapport with each other, if I could just ask you to say a certain distance away from the windows of the building and things like
Yeah,
that, because
no,
we do have
That's
officers
perfect.
working in
That's
those
perfectly
offices
fine.
and stuff. Perfect.
Not a problem.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for your
That's not
time.
a
I
problem.
really appreciate it.
We are still going to linger
Yeah.
here because again, this is a private car park.
That's fine. That's
And,
perfectly fine. As I said, I'll only be a few minutes. I'm just going to go over there and then I'll then be going back round the front.
Not a problem, sir.
No worries. Thank you very much.
You take care, all right?
And that's the real takeaway. Cameras create accountability for everyone. One officer escalated. Another de-escalated. Same uniform. Different mindset. So here's the bigger question. Does training shape behavior, or does character? Drop your thoughts below. Because moments like this decide whether public trust grows, or cracks.